Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. I just finished recording the video as to the Irish coffee. You saw that maybe like 8 weeks ago, but this is the same brew session, okay? It's going to continue, I'm gonna push through. Anyways, welcome back to the channel. I'm still having the last of my Irish coffee here, and man, this is, if you didn't see that, comment below, I'll provide you with the link. But man, what a treat. This is like dessert, but with the goodness of coffee, like, wow, it has everything you need also, by the way, to get over a cold, which is what I'm trying to do right now. It's not affecting my taste buds. I can taste just fine, but you can hear it in my voice. I don't sound like my usual self. And I gotta say, I gotta hand it to my granddad. Okay, this is a great invention. Here goes to you, granddad. Man, the Irish. Oh boy, man, dessert in a glass. I'm having the last of it. It's still warm, so I don't want it to get completely cold. Although I imagine Irish coffee being pretty good iced. Maybe one day I'll revisit that, I'll make an iced one. Man, all right, I'll finish that in a second. So, back to today's video subject. So, I recently needed a daily driver dark roast coffee. I usually have something light on hand and something dark on hand. The dark one I use for making espresso when I'm going to make a milk drink. Okay, if I'm having straight shots, I don't need a dark roast. But when I'm mixing with milk, I kind of like the traditional flavor. I like that chocolate, caramel, dark, the dark chocolate, the molasses, burnt sugar, those kind of notes is what I want in my espresso when I'm mixing with milk. And the other reason why I always like to have a darker roast daily driver is for using in my mocha pot. Okay, I know that some people have mastered the mocha pot to the point where they make lighter roasted coffees in the mocha pot. I've never gotten anything that I really appreciated from the mocha pot and a lighter roasted coffee. To me, it feels like I'm wasting the 18 grams or 20 grams or whatever it is I'm brewing. I much rather want to make it as filter coffee. So it just, it never ends up being something that, that I like more than filter coffee. There's no way. So when I want to use my mocha pot, I need a darker roast. Okay, I need a dark roast. So therefore, I always have something dark on hand. I've explained before that espresso for me is more like a weekend kind of thing. I don't get into espresso during the week because I'm always in a rush. Either I'm on my way to the gym or I have to get to work. There's just no time. And my mocha pot, if I want to make a milk drink, I'll just make some coffee in the mocha pot because it's pretty well concentrated. It's like a 1:9 ratio, and it's concentrated enough for mixing with milk. So in the mocha pot, I don't have to worry about cleaning it or anything. I just rinse it, leave it in the sink, and get to it, once I get back and I have more time. So for a coffee to make in the mocha pot is always a darker roast, at least for me. So recently, I wanted to purchase something for just having on hand as far as dark roast coffee, and I was going to purchase the Lavazza Rosa again. Because the Lavazza Rosa, which is a coffee I already reviewed here on the channel, for making in the mocha pot, it was pretty great. And for espresso to mix with milk, again, it was pretty great. So for having as a daily driver, the Lavazza Rosa, as a dark roast coffee, I thought it was just fine. When I went into Amazon and I was gonna buy a bag of the Lavazza Rosa, I remembered and I saw that I had left a note as to a coffee that I wanted to purchase, a coffee that somebody suggested, and they said, I think they left a comment when I reviewed the Lavazza Rosa. They left me the comment saying, hey, you should try this is so much better. So I made a note of it, and I remember that, And then, you know, I looked for it. But when I found it, and I'll leave you guys a picture here so you could see what that coffee, which coffee it is. And again, that brand is available on Amazon at the time where I'm recording this video, but it was not, the particular coffee from the brand is the one that was not available, okay? That brand had some coffees on Amazon, but not the one that I wanted. And that's the one they told me that I had to try. So therefore I said, well, let me see what else is there. I started scrolling a bit and I ran into these coffees. Now, these coffees are very, very highly rated in Amazon. People seem to love it. So my next, you know, my intuition was, well, let's go to YouTube and see if I can find a video review as to these coffees. And I didn't find any. So I thought, well, maybe I should be the first one making a review as to these coffees. Each one of these bags is 1 pound. And I paid $45, shipping included. So $45 for 3 pounds of coffee, that's really cheap. One thing that caught my attention is the fact that this coffee is roasted to order, okay? So, you know, it sounds hard to believe, but there's a sticker on the coffee right here that tells you the roasted on date, the day they roasted that coffee. When I received it, it was 1 week off of roast. That's really, really fresh, man. If you can buy coffee that is freshly roasted, that is a nice dark roast, a nice blend, and you know, it could be anybody's daily driver. And being that there were no video reviews as to these coffees, I said, well, you know what, let me get the sampler. It brings the 3 kinds that they sell. Let's try them on the channel. And I think 2 of them say medium, 1 says dark, but I imagine they're all pretty dark. Okay, so they all say espresso. You know that usually when you see espresso on the bag means it's a little bit more developed, a little bit darkly roasted. So, you know, I imagine all 3 will be fairly dark to what we're used to here on the channel. And all 3 should be pretty good for the mocha pot and for milk drinks. So I went ahead, I ordered them, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna be the first one to do a proper review as to these 3 coffees. So today we're gonna start with one. The one that caught my attention the most is the red bag. So today we're gonna open the red bag and I'm gonna pull 2 espressos. I wanna do one on the Breville Infuser and we're gonna compare that to something brewed on the Elite Bianca. And yeah, we'll pull some espresso, maybe we'll do a cortado, maybe. and see what that's all about. So without further ado, let me finish my Irish coffee and I'll meet you guys at the other counter for a brew session and pulling some espresso. Let's go.
Can it just be us tonight? Under the night sky, gonna make my skin rise. Can it just be us tonight? Do you believe in magic? Comes from the inside. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Comes from the inside. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Comes from the inside. Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic? Do you believe in magic?
All right, so we are back, man. We are back. So yeah, first, you know, something I forgot to mention. Notice the name is Nicoletti. Don't confuse that with Bialetti, which is kind of like what caught my attention. And one of the reasons why I bought it, because I was like, Bialetti, isn't that? Wait a minute, that's Bialetti, not Nicoletti. And then, you know, maybe they named it for the name recognition or something to be similar to Bialetti. I don't know. Probably not. You know, maybe this is somebody's name or I don't know. But I did think of it. I thought, you know, maybe they did it for like the name recognition. Some people think it's a Bialetti coffee. Like maybe it's got to be good. Like, you know, I don't know. Anyway, again, if it's freshly roasted, something of quality. Now, keep in mind, this is a blend and it does have Robusta and Arabica. Nothing wrong with blends. Again, I have nothing against blends. You can do very good blends. There's nothing wrong with Robusta. Some people disregard it completely. If it's Robusta, I don't want it. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong. Just try it. Try it and maybe you'll be surprised. And again, it's yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here, but hopefully we'll be pleasantly surprised. Look, the bag is nicely perforated, so it tears right along the little dots. I really got to give it to them. You know, very high quality bag, by the way, very nicely sealed. I could see you just keeping the beans in here and not having to put it onto something else. They should keep just fine here. It has a Ziploc, and you know, it's really, so far, I'm really impressed with the quality and the presentation. Again, guys, this is, you know, I'm not made out of money. Come on, nobody's sponsoring this channel. I gotta buy everything you guys see here, okay? So, you know, something I never talk about, but you know, guys, to keep the channel running, I have to pay for the music, which I like having music in my videos. I gotta have it. I gotta enjoy what I'm doing. If not, I'm not gonna do it. So part of the joy of making the videos is picking the music and something that I find to be fitting for the situation and for the moment. Okay, so most of the time you get some little bit of jazz in the background kind of thing, right? That's what I like doing. It's like what you would expect in a coffee shop. And I think it's very fitting, and yes, what we mostly do. Every now and then I do my little cinematics, I include something else and whatever. But music to me is very important. I gotta pay for that. I gotta pay for the software to be able to edit the videos, okay? I have to pay for the software to create the thumbnails. I have to pay. There's quite a few things that I have to pay for just to keep the channel running. So I make nothing from YouTube. It's just a total loss. I do it for the love of it, okay? I do it for the engagement with you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I would not be doing this, okay? I do it because you guys seem to enjoy it. You like hanging out with me. I love hanging out with you guys. You leave me comments. We share something below in the comments, and it's just get to know you a little bit. And I don't know, I think it's super cool, super cool. So it's the reason why I keep doing it. But you know, I'm not made out of money. So all the coffee you see here on the channel, I basically buy myself. All the gadgets that you see, everything that you see on the channel is stuff that I buy myself. I have received, now every now and then I do receive a gift or two. Okay, so a few things, and I have always mentioned it, I've always said it, I got this for free, okay? So there's been a few items and a few bags of coffee that I have received for free. And I really highly appreciate that because, again, I'm not made out of money. So therefore, I always have some specialty coffee on hand in the house. You guys know that I keep some coffee frozen. So some of the more special coffees that I've been reviewing and trying, I keep it frozen. If it's something really, really special, I like to portion out maybe 100 grams, vacuum seal it, and then we freeze it. And so far, this is an experiment that's been ongoing on the channel now for quite a while. I have coffee that has been frozen for over a year and a half. By now, it's probably like 2 years. And it's still super fresh when you brew it. So vacuum sealing and freezing your coffee definitely works. And I have some of that. So I have some coffee frozen. I have always something specialty on hand to brew, but I need a daily driver because I make coffee every single day. I do my pour overs, and then, you know, I want to have something for my mocha pot, and sometimes for espresso when I'm doing milk drinks and stuff. Maybe you have some friends over, family, whatever, and you want to pour a few shots, and you know, you could just use something hopefully like this. Maybe hopefully this will be good. And again, because you're not made out of money, you might want to keep a daily driver on hand that is good enough. You know, you guys know that for filter coffee, for my morning pour overs, the Dunkin' is my go-to because of the high acidity. Okay, it's hard to find a coffee that you really enjoy, that you like, that has high acidity. It's very difficult to find that on the market. As a matter of fact, I don't know any. The best one is the Dunkin'. If you guys know of one, you know, let me know. Let me know. If I can find it, if it's easy to find in my area, then I'll review it. Okay. So hopefully this will be a good enough daily driver, dark roast for making milk drinks and for making in my mocha pot. That's what we're trying to find out. Now we're gonna compare shots from the Breville versus the Bianca. Now the Breville, okay, here goes, let's talk about the Breville. You guys know I'm having a problem with the infuser. This machine is now like 7, 8 years old, something like that. Apparently, the overpressure valve has gone bad on it because now it won't build a lot of pressure, okay? It'll build enough, but if I wanna pull a shot of a lighter roasted coffee and I want the machine to pull a shot for like 45 seconds, 50 seconds, you know, you have to grind fairly fine and the machine has to build quite a bit of pressure in order to accomplish that. And what I've noticed is that that it won't do it. You know, it bleeds off the extra pressure and then you end up with a bunch of water in the reservoir, here in the drip tray, okay? Usually in the drip tray, you know, after a brew session, this thing wouldn't even be halfway filled. The last time I used it, the thing was almost overflowing already by the time I finished with it, and I only pulled like 1 shot or 2 shots, whatever it was. But yeah, if you're trying to build pressure with the machine, a lot of the water is gonna be bled off through the overpressure valve and it's gonna end up in your drip tray. So therefore, I'm thinking if I brew a dark roast, like when I did Jay's Espresso Agent 99, it was a dark roast and it was a fast shot. I did not need to push the machine so hard to go 45 seconds or anything like that. In a 25 to 30 second shot, it was fine because it was a dark roast. So for those situations and maybe a coffee like this one, I can still use my infuser. Now, I already told you guys about this problem with the overpressure valve. Carrie sent me a couple of links as to where maybe I could find the part. Although the part shows on Google and online, you see the part, you cannot order it. It's no longer available. You can't get it. So if you guys know a way that I can get an overpressure valve for this machine, let me know and I will try. And if I can order it, we'll take this thing apart. I've done it before. I've taken it apart. You guys know my little gauge stopped working like many years ago. I don't really care because I don't really need that to pull a good shot. But yeah, that stopped working. They told me why not try blowing it out with a compressor, this, that, cleaning it with a needle, this, that. I already took it out. I already did all that. It didn't work. Breville does not sell you this part. Now, they have similar pressure gauges online that maybe I can order and I can put it in. It's not that important to me to go through that trouble. If I could get the authentic one, maybe I would. But now that there's a second problem, I wouldn't do that until I can fix the other problem, which really does bother me. This thing not working doesn't really bother me, but if I could get the real one, I probably would take it out and put it in. This machine is not made for you to take it apart, okay? The Bianca is. All the parts for the Bianca are available. You can pretty much order anything you want, take it apart, replace it, and do the work yourself. On the Breville, they don't want you to do that. As a matter of fact, I bet you they don't even fix it either. So one thing you could do, I think they charge you like $300 and you can send it in, okay? And I know what they're gonna do. They're just gonna send you another machine, one that works. And they're gonna trash this and that's it. They're not gonna spend time and effort fixing this thing. They just get rid of it and give you a different one. And you pay $300 for an open box item or for one that's refurbished or whatever. You know, for them it's totally worth it, okay? It's not worth it spending trying to figure this thing out and taking it apart and all that. This is not made for that purpose. This is made like a little appliance that if it fails, you just throw it out, okay? The Bianca is made to last you a lifetime as long as you're willing to do the maintenance, and perhaps if something fails, you take care of it. You send it in or you order the part and do it yourself if you feel like you could do that. So far, I've never had a problem with the Bianca. We'll see. I've only had it for I don't know, by now it's been maybe 2.5 years, something like that. All right, anyway, enough of a rant. I think that brings you up to date as to what's going on today here. Let's set things up and do 18 grams and try to pull the shot with the Breville first and see if it works for the dark roast. I imagine I can pull, as long as it's a dark roast, and I'm going only like 30 seconds, it should work. We'll see. I mean, it's just it's an experiment. We'll see what happens. All right, let me make sure my focus is locked and start the scale and dose out our first 18 grams. My experience on the Breville is that usually shot number 2 or number 3, you'll get it right. The very first shot, a lot of times it's not gonna work out. On the Bianca, you'll have a lot better odds of getting your very first shot to be good because of the flow control. I've said it many times here on the channel that flow control has been a game changer for me. I use it on every single shot, and I think it's just an awesome feature to have. It can save so many shots and elevates shots that would be barely mediocre to something really good because you have the flow control, okay? On the Breville, you kind of have to dial in, and usually second, third shot is gonna be fine. But you know what? I forgot. First, I gotta show you guys the roast level. As a matter of fact, I gotta look myself. Let me see how it smells. All right, the fragrance is, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. It's not great. I do have to say it's just, yeah, kind of coffee-like, but I don't know if it's the bag that has a certain smell, or I don't think so. No, I don't know. The coffee smells a little odd, let's just say. All right, let me put some here on the counter. I'll take a picture. Okay, to the eye, it looks like, yeah, it's dark, but it's not super dark. Something like the Lavazza Rosa, maybe. The bean size, though, seems pretty consistent. Yeah, okay, and now I'm starting to see, okay, there is a little bit of inconsistency in the beans, but you know what? The quality looks pretty darn good for what I paid. All right, let me take a picture and put it here on the screen for you guys. All right, let's get the scale going again. Okay, hopefully I got a good picture there for you guys. Now we have to dose out our 18 grams. Let me pick all this up. Okay, looks like I had a little bit over 18 grams out on the counter. So let me fix that. One more bean. All right, 18 grams. Now, another experiment that we've been doing lately here on the channel is we've been playing with the niche dual, the grinder, and we've been keeping an eye on it to see if I ever feel the need that I'm gonna have to grind below 0. That should not happen anymore since I calibrated the dual. If you need to calibrate a niche dual, or you know somebody that does, I already recorded a tutorial video as to how to calibrate it. So if you need that, comment below and I'll provide you with the link. So we got exactly 18 grams. You guys know my workflow. Let me show you that. All right, so here we are at the dual. I keep the little bellows up here. You know, this little bellows, Carrie told me that it was available on the Walmart website, and it is. This bellows was sent to me by Gemini Coffee Tools, but they never put it on their website, so I don't understand. I really don't get it. You know, I would like to support the people that support me, so they send me this for free. Again, this is one of those little items I've gotten for free, and I would love to support them, but it's not available on there. They don't have it on the website, so I don't understand. It's the best thing I've ever gotten from them. I love it. So, but yeah, you can find this at Amazon. It costs like $3 or $4 or something. I mean, it's very cheap, and it's a game changer for your dual. It stops the mess. Okay, there's the little popcorning that happens and the little chips flying out. This will obviously block that from happening, and you don't run into any issues. Okay, so I got my 18 grams here. My tools for the Breville are here also. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Come in with my 18 grams. Okay, push it in there. And get that back on there. Okay, I'm trying to film. I can't, like if I leave the phone here in this angle, you won't see anything. So I'm having to kind of handhold it here. Okay, here's the workflow now on the dual. You guys have seen this in the last few videos. Well, I didn't even do the grind size. What am I doing? This thing's set for 55 because I just recorded I just finished recording the Irish coffee. Oh my God, what is... Okay, so I haven't thought about grind size, but I remember the last coffee that we ground for espresso, I was a grind size, oh my God, and now I forgot. No! All right, okay. Here's something I mentioned previously, all right? I just ground coffee at 55. The burrs have little bits of coffee in them, right? So if I try to go to espresso now, I can't. Let me see. Wow, it's at 20. Wow, but it's really, really tight. I'm all the way down to 15, but it's really, really tight. And I'm gonna have to take this down to like 5 to grind this. So the reason is because there's little bits of coffee in between the burrs. So what you have to do, and as a matter of fact, I talked about this whole thing when I recorded the calibration video as to the duo. What you gotta do is go down to maybe 40, run it a little bit, but it has to be empty. I already put the coffee in there. Okay, you go down again and you run it, you go down again and you run it until you can go down to, the like 5 or whatever it is for espresso, right? Because those little bits are caught in between the burrs. I hope that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grind this at 55, which is where I had it for filtered. And I'm gonna put this away for tomorrow and I'll try it as filtered coffee and I'll report back to you guys to see if it's any good as filtered coffee. But anyway, let me show you the workflow. So we're at 55. Again, I'm grinding this one, the Napoli Espresso. We'll see if it's any good as filtered coffee tomorrow. Okay, so I don't throw the switch just yet because I open it, I'll tap it a couple times, run it again, tap it one more time, run it again, tap the spout, and let's weigh it. We had 18 grams, right? So let's see if we're at 18 grams. Usually we get the same thing out. 17.9, we're close enough. Okay, I'm gonna put this away for tomorrow. I'm gonna dose out another 18 grams. But now, okay, first of all, now what I have to do is what I was telling you guys, right? Let's see, let's go down to like, even right there, it's already like tight. 40, run it at 40, run it at 30. This is kind of like what you have to do if you're gonna go from, because you want to get those little bits that are caught in between the burrs, you want to get that out. If not, it's really hard to like keep going. You have to actually do it a few times. Okay, now I'm down to 5. So where should we set it for? Let's do it again. Okay, now we're gonna be ready. All right, so let's take a look. Right there, we're at 10. Right there, that's 5. So last time we were at 4 with that other coffee, but that was a light roast. This is on the Breville. So I imagine this will be like a, I don't know, 7? 7, maybe even 8. Let's try at 7 on the Breville and see how that works. But let me dose out another 18 grams. So I'm gonna grind it at 7 on the Duo. And let me put this away for tomorrow and, okay, give me a second. All right, so I have these little containers for this type of emergency. Things like this happen from time to time. And then I'll just put it in here. Again, it only has to sit here for 1 day. Tomorrow I'm gonna make this as filtered and see what happens. I know it's 18 grams. Now, if you don't label it or do something, you're gonna forget. And now again, I plan on having it tomorrow, so I won't forget by then. But if this sits around for a few days, I'll forget what's in here and then I won't know what to do with it. The plan is to make it as filtered tomorrow. So let me put this away. Okay, let's pick up this mess. We gotta do another 18 grams. Wow, I didn't give it no. I didn't pay any attention as to my grind size. Okay, so we're there at 0. Okay, let's do another 18 grams. We're gonna grind again at grind size 7 on the Duo and see what kind of result that gives us. more. All right, we're at 18 grams. Yeah, I gotta say, the aroma of the fragrance of the coffee is it's not great. It's not great. It's not what I'm used to for sure. Okay, so 18 grams. All right, I just showed you guys what the workflow is and the whole thing, so I'm not gonna go through that again. Let's just get this done. Again, I do that a couple of times, then I tap the spout. Wow, 16.8. Man, this is gonna be one of those strange videos. Hold on. Now everything looks like it's went through. I don't understand. Okay, 17, we're not getting a lot out, so I'm gonna have to grind another gram. Now this could have something to do with what Jay was telling me, that when you know, I'm usually brewing lighter roasted coffees, okay? But when you get into like darker roasted coffees, they have more oils and they tend to stick to the walls of the grinder and to the burrs a bit more, and you have more retention. So maybe that's one of these situations. And again, I just cleaned out my my duo just before calibrating, and that I just recorded that. So since then I have ground with it 2 or 3 times, so that could have something to do with it. I don't know, but let's drop a few more beans and we have to get it to 18 grams. Wow, a whole gram of retention. That was crazy. Okay, now obviously we're way over. So we'll adjust it with the little spoon. Okay, 18.1. We're gonna roll with that. That's close enough. Usually 0.1, 0.2, even 0.3. I don't worry about that. You know, now once you get into like half a gram, then you start kind of thinking, well, maybe I should adjust it. So 18.1, we're gonna roll with that. Let's fluff it up. Man, imagine these all 3 bags are like a total fail, and then I don't like any of them. Wow, 3 pounds of coffee. You know, I feel more for the waste than for the money. But you know what? At least you guys will know, you know, hey, don't get this stuff. But you know, the only reason why I'm thinking negative right now is because of the way it smells. It's like nothing to, like, I don't know, it's kind of, no, it just smells weird. Wow, what could that be? It's definitely not what I'm used to, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's not what I'm used to. All right, let's get this out of the way. Who knows? Maybe it turns out great. It just smells weird. I don't know. Let me relock the focus. Okay, what are we missing? I got my, oh, that's right. I have to use my dosing ring. I get my little tamper just in case. Get this out. Okay, it's totally dry. I haven't pulled any shots, but it's really hot. It's been on for a while. So here's the workflow with the Breville. This is how I've been doing this for a while. Again, you can get one of these little cups in the right size, so then you could do the same way I do it with the Bianca. But I never bought that. You know, I just always did this. You know, pretty much I started to go down the rabbit hole of this whole coffee making, and little by little I bought more and more tools, more and more things. But by then I had the Bianca, so I've pretty much have bought everything for the 58 millimeter. Okay, but we'll do WDT, as we always do on this channel. Okay, now the coffee looks great. It looks great. It looks quality. You know, so, I mean, what do you expect, right? It looks good. Like there was not any broken beans. There were not a bunch of like, you know, it looked really, it looked quality. I do have to say, it looked quality. I don't know why it just doesn't, it doesn't smell great. It doesn't, it doesn't smell bad, but it doesn't smell like what I'm used to. Okay, so we have the grounds in here. Now, my workflow with the Breville, I have one of these tools. So I have always said, this probably doesn't do anything, but whatever, I have it, so I use it. I felt a tiny little bit of resistance with this, and this is very shallow, and it's still, I felt a little bit of resistance. So now when I tamp, I usually, well, you know, I'm kind of out of practice. I haven't been using the Breville, but I used to be able to tell how the shot was gonna go down by the way it felt when I tamped it. Okay, I had just a little bit resistance, not a lot. So what I'm gonna do when that happens, if I get a lot of resistance with this, and again, all you gotta do is just press down until metal hits metal, and you know, you're pretty much done. But if I get very little resistance, I try to tamp with this. See how it feels. Yeah, it went down quite a bit more. Okay, now I think it's level there. And that's it, that's how things go. Well, that looks really nice. Now, I'm a little reluctant to do this next test. And if this fails, wow, this video is gonna get like super long and difficult for me. I'm gonna have to clean a mess. But I'm gonna risk it and go with the upside down trick. If the coffee is fresh, okay, and you didn't do one of those little light Italian tamps that we've been experimenting with lately, okay? If you've been watching all the videos, then you know what it is I'm talking about. You did a proper kind of good tamp, okay? If you did a good tamp, the coffee is fresh, okay? You should be able to go upside down like this and it shouldn't fall out, okay? And you saw that, it didn't fall out. So far that tells me that the coffee is probably somewhat fresh. So maybe it is a week off of roast. You know, this is a coffee that maybe I need to rest it even longer. Although darker roasted coffees, you don't have to rest them as long. But, well, by now it's been more than a week. Yeah, it's been a little bit more than a week, but yeah, it's still pretty fresh. Let's see, we'll see how much crema we get and all that good stuff. So let's lock it in. Let's lock it in. Let me set up, okay, again, I only need one angle for this because, you know, I don't have a bottomless portafilter for you to see the extraction with the infuser. Again, that's another tool that I never bought. By the time that I wanted to start experimenting with bottomless portafilters, I already had the Bianca. So, all right, we're going to, should I go with this scale? Let me see if I can make the angle. Yeah, the angle's gonna work just fine. All right, give me a second. Okay, this should work just fine. Should be able to do this. Yeah, I don't need the GoPro for this. Let's start the scale. Now this is my Time More Black Mirror Nano. I've had this scale for a long time. When I bought it, it was only like 80 bucks. It's water resistant, rechargeable. I love it. I love the way it looks. And it has the automatic espresso function, which I really love using, okay? When you put your cup up here, the scale's gonna tare by itself. Okay, as you see there, when the A starts flashing, now you can start pulling the shot. And it's gonna weigh your shot and time your shot all automatically. And normally, it won't fail unless it's barely dripping. When that happens, if you get a shot like that is barely dripping out and going really slow, the scale sometimes, you've seen the glitch that happens where it just stops, it thinks you're done with the shot and then you don't get to time the whole thing. So for that reason, I got the Akaya to see if it would be better, and it definitely, you know, it's one of those situations that you get what you pay for. So, okay, so what I do on the Breville is press, you can do either the single shot or the double shot button, hold it down for about 5-6 seconds, then let it go, and you do like a nice pre-infusion, and hopefully we'll be done in about 30 seconds and see if we get a 30-second shot. So I'm holding it down. Again, you do like 5 seconds or so. You know, you let it go. Now I should ramp up to full pressure Okay, we're getting nothing. So either the coffee's too fine, and you know, if that's the case, and you know what, I don't hear anything like going like the overpressure valve situation is not happening. No, that little trickling noise is not happening at all. I'm just choking the machine. Maybe, yeah, it just choked. We're gonna have to go much coarser. It's starting to drip. Wow, so grind size 7 is definitely way too coarse. It's gonna time out, it only lasts like a minute. It's starting to drip. Wow, it hasn't been a minute? Seems like forever. You see, there's the there's the little glitch that I told you it stopped before it actually stopped. So, yeah, we're way too coarse. So grind size 7 is not gonna work. 7, 8, 9. Should we even go to 10? Let's try at 10 and see what happens at 10. Wow, that's a ristretto right there. I'm not trying that. That's like burnt. All right, so let's reset. Now, one thing that really leaves me at odds here is that the problem with the overpressure valve did not happen today. It just didn't happen. Man, now I really don't. I'm really perplexed. Anyway, let me set up and I'll catch up with you guys on the next clip. All right, so I just reset everything. I cleaned out my portafilter. I ran a couple of dummy shots, got everything hot again. I got my 18 grams here ready to go. You know, I noticed, I took a good look again inside the bag and I noticed that the bean quality looks really high. It looks very good. There's no broken beans and pieces and, you know, it just looks nice, really nice. I'm a little bit, you know, perplexed by the smell. It's not what I'm used to. It's all I could say. It's not that it's bad or it's not great. It's not like one of those coffees you're like, wow, it smells awesome. You know, it's not that. So, all right, I got 18 grams. Let's see if we get retention again. Now I'm at grind size 10. So I went from 7 to 10, 3 notches. We'll see how much of a difference that should make, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So again, open it, couple taps. Again. Now you can throw the switch, tap the spout, and see if you got your 18 grams. So 17.4. Now we lost a half a gram instead of a full gram. So let's put a couple of beans. We had less retention. Okay, obviously now we're a little bit over, but the adjustment will be minimal. A little bit more. Okay, 18.1 again. We are gonna roll with that. So let's see, by going up by 3 notches, let's see what the difference that makes with the Niche Duo and the Breville Infuser. So fluff it up a little bit. Man, I'm really, you know, the most curious thing so far, most interesting thing that's happened is the fact that the overpressure valve problem, or what I think was that, is completely gone. You know, this thing is not filling up. There's almost no water in there. That's the way it used to be. So all of a sudden now it's working normal, back to normal. When the last time that we used it, a bunch of water was bleeding off into here, and as I try to pull those longer and longer shots, more and more water will go into here. It just couldn't build pressure. Now today it's building pressure just fine, so I don't know. You know, as a matter of fact, we choked it, and it's still, you know, we didn't have any problem of the water bleeding off into the drip tray. Okay, so this thing's nice and clean and hot. Oh, that's right, I can't I can't do that. Okay, if you do this taking your time, you should not make a mess. Let's do some WDT. Okay. Tap it a couple times. Again, the result looks nice. I mean, the coffee is really nice and fluffy. These beans do not seem to be oily. It looks kind of like the way the Lavazza Rosa did, you know, honestly. But better quality. The beans themselves look way better quality. Lavazza did have a bunch of broken beans and it was not consistent looking. This looks way better than that. Yet, the whole thing about the smell, I can't figure it out. So let's do this again. You know, resistance level felt about the same, but let's see when we tamp with this. Yeah, it went down a little bit less than last time, so obviously we went coarser. That's to be expected. Little polish. All right, there you see it. Nice puck prep. Let's lock it in. Now I don't have a puck screen for the Breville. I never bought one. That's another one of those things that by the time I got one, I was already on the Bianca. But obviously, if you're on a Breville, you can get a puck screen like this. This one's from Gemini Coffee Tools as well. They do have, I believe they have it for the Breville as well. Look on their Amazon page. So just put Gemini Coffee Tools on Amazon and go to their page and you should see this for the Breville. They sell it for roughly the same price that you find any other one. So why not support a company that supports a small YouTube channel like mine? So again, Gemini Coffee Tools. All right, let's lock it in. And pull our second shot and see what happens. All right, so let's get the scale back up here. Okay, as soon as the A starts flashing, you can put your cup up there. I had it full of hot water so that it's nice and hot. In hopes that we get a good shot this time. Okay, when the A is flashing again, now same process. Hold, and again, when you hold down, you could do either the single shot or double shot. When you hold it down, the machine's gonna go into pre-infusion. You gotta hold it down for at least like 3 seconds, and then that is gonna be a manual shot. So the whole thing about a manual shot is that you have to tap it again to stop the brewing process, you know? So you go by your weight. When you reach the yield that you're looking for, in my case, I'm looking for 45 grams out, 18 in, 45 out, a 1 to 2.5 ratio, okay? So, you know, I always have been doing manual shots on my Breville, and that's basically how you do it. Just hold down the button, it goes into manual, the manual function. So when you tap it again, it stops brewing. So hold it down. Usually I hold it down for like 5 or 6 seconds because I want to get that soft pre-infusion. When you let it go, it ramps up to full pressure. This is still gonna be way too, well, it got better. Wow, that looks nice and thick. That looks nice. Man, that does look fresh. That is a good looking shot, man. I'm gonna taste this one. This is gonna be way over extracted, but I'm gonna taste it. Man, it looks like chocolate. You know, the Robusta in it, you know, it usually makes more crema. Look at the whole cup is crema. Wow, that is fresh. Again, I'm looking for 45 grams out, but look at how long in the brew. It's gonna stop pretty soon. It's almost, there it is. You know, 45 seconds plus what I was holding it. So, you know, usually it runs for like a minute. So, but look at the shot, that looks beautiful. I'm gonna taste this one. Now, I expect it to be very bitter because it must be over extracted, I imagine. But look at the shot. Man, that's a beauty. Wow, it's all completely like crema on top. Man, maybe this maybe this coffee's been a great find. All right, let's see. Again, I expect it to be very bitter. Yeah, it is bitter. Too bitter for me to use. So I'm not going to, I'm gonna pull another shot. But we went to 10. It did speed up quite a bit. What do you guys think? Maybe 12? You know, if we were on a live, that would be one of those things I would ask you guys, and then from 10 to 12, maybe even 13? Let's try 13. Let's try it at 13. Again, like I told you guys in the beginning, on the Breville, usually the second shot or maybe the third shot, that's when you start getting good stuff. On the Bianca, a lot of times from the very first go around, I can get something good because of the flow control. We'll see today, but, and again, this video is taking too long. I think today I might not use the Bianca. We'll see, maybe next time we try both, but this is gonna be a super long video as it is. So let me go ahead and grind again. We're gonna do another shot. Wow, okay, we're gonna pull a third shot. Yeah, pretty much brewing on the Bianca today and dialing in for the Bianca today is a no-go. So we'll pick it up next week. Be back here on a little brew session Sunday, and come back next week and we'll dial it in, the same coffee, we'll dial it in on the Bianca and see what it gives us and see how long it takes. Is it that much easier on the Bianca? Maybe I have to do, and again, I know I'm gonna have a high number as to the grind size, so that kind of helps me a little bit, but keep in mind that dialing in on this machine and this machine is completely different. Okay, the grind, it's not just because it's a different machine, but the portafilter size makes a big difference on dialing in. So yeah, you know, keep that in mind. Okay, 18.1, we're gonna leave it there. Again, I wonder we'll probably still have a little bit of retention. Okay, so this time we're at grind size 13. We started at 7. We're all the way up to 13, almost double the number. So we'll see what that gives us. All right, let's check. All right, we were at 18.1 and now we're at 17.9, so we lost a 0.2. But 17.9, I'm not gonna adjust for a 0.1, so we're just gonna roll with that. Okay, so as much as I was disappointed with like the fragrance of the coffee and the aroma of the coffee, it completely made up for it with the way the beans looked. They look quality. I'm telling you, they look quality. And you saw the shot. It does not get any more like beautiful than that. That was an absolutely beautiful, stunning shot. And yes, it was over extracted, but I have a feeling the flavor is gonna be really good on this coffee. So wow, this could be a game changer for you guys. Man, as a dark roast and to making my mocha pot for milk drinks, wow, this could definitely be my my daily driver. And wow, for the price, we'll see. We'll see, and we'll compare to the other bags. I mean, we have 3 bags of this, and next time maybe we'll open a new bag, dial in on the Bianca, taste the other coffee. I don't know, we'll see, we'll figure something out. Okay, I like keeping my area tidy. Let me lock in the focus again. Yeah, that takes way too long. Definitely, if I was always using my infuser, I would, you know what? If we're gonna, moving forward, we're gonna make more Breville content, I might order one of these for this portafilter because this is just ridiculous. It takes too long, it's not fun. It's not fun. If it was something that I'm enjoying, I could see, you know, but I'm not. So I might have to get me one of those. Okay, some WDT. Tap it into place. Again, we've gotten really nice result every time. The grounds are very fluffy. The coffee doesn't seem too oily or anything. Obviously, it probably is because look at how much retention we're having with the stuff I normally brew. Even the Dunkin', that never happens. Whatever I put in comes out, especially when you do the bellows. It just doesn't happen. So, yeah, oh, I could definitely feel the resistance changing. It's definitely a lot more resistance now. So when I tamp with this one, it might not even go down at all. Yeah, very little. Oh, well, maybe now we'll get the right timing. Again, for this coffee, this dark, you know, 25 seconds, 30 seconds should be more than enough. All right, set up again. Okay, get the scale going. I have hot water again in the cup. Let me dump it out. All right, let's see if we get a good shot this time. Okay, now the scale's been working. I mean, as long as your shots are not super slow, the scale's gonna work perfectly fine. And you can do this automatic espresso function. You don't have to, or you just concentrate on starting and stopping your machine. And if you're doing flow control, then doing the flow control. Then maybe about 5-second pre-infusion, let it go. Okay, this is much better. I think this is gonna be it. Let's hope we get about 45 grams in about 30 seconds. We should be fine. My goodness, that coffee is fresh. Look at that. It's nothing but crema in there now. Okay, I went a little over, 46. Again, I'm out of practice. 46.8 in 34 seconds. This should be good. This should be a good shot. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that looks. That's crazy. You know, there's not a lot of YouTubers that review like regular kind of coffees, like this kind of stuff, you know. Everybody reviews the specialty stuff, but you know, people want to know, like a daily, how do you find a good daily driver? What if you like drinking dark roast? You know, wow, this is just gorgeous, man. All right, let's try this one. Okay guys, cheers. Oh, you know, the most interesting thing of this video is that the problem with the Bianca today, it did not happen. It hasn't done it. I cannot hear that trickling that I was hearing previously. There's nothing happening with the pressures, working just fine. The problem disappeared on itself. Once again, the laws of physics ceased to function in my kitchen. And you know, I've been recording for so long. I've had the lights on, everything running for so long that one of the lights already just ran out of battery. And it's my goodness, I think this is gonna be it. I'm calling it, guys. So let's try this one. Let's see if it's good. All right, I don't know if I gotta keep dialing it in further. It's not bitter. This time it's not bitter. Maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit. I might still have to brew it like 7-8 seconds faster. I wonder what kind of results I'm gonna get from the Bianca. Yeah, as far as the flavor profile, I gotta say, man, I'm sorry to say it, but I don't love it. I don't love it. I got better shots from the Lavazza Rosa. Man, I don't know. Could it be because of the Robusta? Is the Lavazza Rosa just Arabica? Yeah, I don't know. But definitely the Lavazza Rosa tasted way better than this. It did. This looks great, but it tastes kind of strange the same way like the smell. I'm imagining that's because of the Robusta. I'm not used to that. It's not something that I normally make. I have nothing but Arabica here. What about the Dunkin'? Is that, I don't know, but the Dunkin' tastes way better than this. It's just in a totally different league. The beans don't look as nice as this. The coffee, when it brews, it does not look as good as this, for sure. No, man, this is a gorgeous looking shot. Even now, the way it looks on top is just gorgeous. Let me get the phone off of here. Let me show you. But it looks, you know, it looks great. You know, but man, you know, the flavor is the main thing. And then I gotta say, at least today is not there. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's not really the bitterness. It's not bitter. Okay, the bitterness is creeping in the background. It's there somewhere in the background, but it's not like, you know, like bitter that, you know, okay, it's just bitter. It's not that. It's just the flavor profile of it. It's not great. It's just like there's some woodiness to it. Like, yeah, like, I don't know how to, just like woodiness to it, you know, like, man, I'm surprised, you know, because it looks so awesome. It looks delicious, but we'll have to experiment some more, okay? So come back next week. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. I'll try it on the Bianca, see if it gets any better. As far as the flavor profile of the coffee itself, I gotta say, I don't think I'm gonna love it. Even from the Bianca. What about when we mix it with milk? Maybe with milk it's great. We'll have to experiment further. But it is what it is, guys. I give you always a 100% honest opinion of what it is I'm experiencing. And yeah, you know, the most surprising thing that happened today is the fact that the Breville fixed itself. So the laws of physics in my kitchen, they don't apply like they do everywhere else in the universe. There's something strange that happens here. Machines fix themselves, buttons that react without you touching them, and so on and so forth. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed your time with me here today. Maybe you got a laugh or two. Things did not go as perfectly planned, but you saw the reality of the situation, okay? It is what it is. You see everything here. And although this is not a live brew session, you guys get to see everything. I always show you everything the way it happens. And yeah, we'll see. We'll continue next weekend. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you got a laugh or two on my expense. Come back next week. We'll keep going with this. Thank you for watching. Leave me a comment below. Give the video a thumbs up. And yeah, my voice is still a little bit strained. I've been talking for so long here that, yeah, I need to, for today, I'm calling it, guys. Thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate you guys. But we'll continue next Sunday. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Please leave me a comment below. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks.